Imagine being able to step into the cultural sphere of an ancient empire located halfway around the world. Well, the Royal Alberta Museum's latest exhibition is a joint venture between Cambodia's Ministry of Culture and Fine Arts and Museums partner in Austria. It's called ANGKOR, the Lost Empire, and it gives visitors an opportunity to travel virtually back in time as far as the 9th century to explore and investigate what made the Khmer Empire one of the most powerful and expensive of its time. Here to shed light on this new exhibition, which is set to open up at the RAM on the 23rd of this month, is the director of the Royal Alberta Museum, Meaghan Patterson. Meaghan, thanks for joining me. First and foremost.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm excited to have the director of the Royal Alberta Museum with me today on Thoroughfare. And we're going to talk about this new exhibit. And it's an honor to dig down and go down this path. How did this exhibition come about?
So the Royal Alberta Museum did have a traveling exhibition program prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, but it kind of went on hiatus for a little while. So as we came out of that, we looked around to see what was available in the traveling exhibition market. We saw this one. We thought it would be of great interest to our visitors and something different than we could offer ourselves with our own permanent collections. And so we decided to bring it in.
This is fascinating because I've been to Chichen Itza and Tulum and explored Mayan culture. I think there's a corollary between the cultures that existed at this particular time. A bit of background on this culture in particular. This is ANGKOR that we're drilling down into. When was it a going concern as an empire specifically?
So the ANGKOR Empire was really at its height between the 9th and 15th centuries, and it was quite a vast metropolis of about 1 million people, a series of temples and cities and whatnot. So it was quite extensive.
Wow, so 1 million people. Is there any visible evidence that many people existed in that particular space?
So in the space today, as I understand, that it's the temples that remain. The temples were built of stone. Right. Other infrastructure was built of wood and thatch, and so that has obviously gone back into the land over time. So it is really the temples of ANGKOR that exist today.
So they actually build the houses out of wood, and of course over time. Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating. But the stone temples still remained, and it was such an incredibly powerful empire, and it was very, very expansive, and it worked as such an amazing mechanism honoring its people. So for listeners, can you just walk through the exhibition, paint a virtual picture for radio of what it looks like and what it feels like to step into?
Yeah, I'll do my best. It is quite an immersive exhibit, and you go in through the jungle. It is made to feel kind of like the jungle as you enter in, and then there's all kinds of interactive components as you go through where there's pieces that recreate what the temples are like. There's little interactives where you can build your own temple. There's some information about the LiDAR work that has happened as of late to kind of get that landscape of what the empire looked like. And then there's also things you can, videos that have been done in conjunction with people in Cambodia to tell you more about the history of the place, the culture, the religion, all of those sorts of things.
Okay, and there's I was looking at some of the images, for example, that are there, like the giants of Angkor Thom, and absolutely fascinating. So people can actually dive in. It's like kind of taking a virtual vacation to that lost city, as it were, by dropping into the RAM and experiencing it in a virtual way, but also there are tactile ways. People can actually touch some of the pieces as well, right?
Yeah, there are some tactile experiences that people can have while they're on site as well. And there's about 120 original artifacts that are on tour, some of which are on tour for the very first time as well. So obviously not to touch those ones, but really interesting to be able to see and witness and experience those as well.
And also, just I imagine they must speak volumes about the culture that existed back then and how sophisticated it was for that time. So this is on at the RAM until July, right?
That's right. So it opens on Friday, February 23rd, and then it's open till the end of July.
Okay, so how can people get more information, Meaghan, about this on at the RAM? It's really exciting.
There's some more information on our website currently about the exhibit. And obviously, if you watch our social media channels, we'll continue to promote and provide more information on there as well. Visitation to the exhibit is included in our general admission, so there's no additional surcharge for the exhibit. So trying to make it as accessible for people as possible to come by.
Oh, that's great. We're going to walk in there and take some photographs and get things activated on our social media as well. Now, the RAM's website, that's royalalbertamuseum.ca, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Meaghan, for taking the time to, elucidate us on this amazing traveling exhibit.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me here.
Once again, go to royalalbertamuseum.ca to find out more information about a brand new traveling exhibition and how nice that is. It's been quite some time, as Meaghan was alluding to. ANGKOR, the Lost Empire of Cambodia, runs February 23rd through the 28th of July.